Hello again, it's Michelle at Knitting on the Side. Today is Saturday, May the 30th, and I wanted to pop in and show you what I've been working on. One of the projects that I just finished yesterday morning is this pair of baby socks. The yarn is Panda Superwash from Crystal Palace Yarns, and the color is 2009 Joyful. These are size 1 to 3 month, and it took 21 grams of yarn. And they look just like the socks that I showed you in the last episode, but they're smaller. The last ones I made size 6 to 12 month, I believe. And these are smaller because I didn't have enough yarn to make another pair that size. So these will go in the things that I donate with, like the baby hats and stuff like that. But that used up all of that sock yarn except for just about, I think, 1.5 yards. So I threw it in my bag of sock yarn scraps. And these are all little bits of yarn. They are not enough in themselves to make a hexie puff. But I kind of did a little bit of an experiment yesterday, and I tied some pieces together and made a magic ball. And then I used that magic ball to knit a little hexie puff. I ended up with one spot where you can see the knot, and then there's one spot on the other side where you can kind of see where the knot is, but it's not on the outside, it's on the inside, but it kind of made a little teeny gap there. Overall, I think that worked out pretty good. And so I'm going to just tie all of these little pieces together into one big magic ball, and I think I'll arrange them like by a interesting color flow. Start at one end and just start knitting puffs, and whatever I get, I get. So I thought that'd be kind of fun to do with that, because those pieces of yarn by themselves aren't worth anything, but if I tie them together, I can make something nice out of them. And then I also finished this one that I had started after I did my petal drop socks. I had almost enough for a puff, but not quite. So I just stuck a different color blue on there and finished it. So those 2 puffs got done this week. And I also made some baby hats. I have 8 of them total. These 6 are Plymouth Yarns Encore or Encore Tweed. And it's an acrylic wool blend yarn, but it is machine washable. I've got hats that have pom-poms. I've got beanies that don't have pom-poms. And I've got a couple of ribbed hats in a couple different lengths, and they could be worn turned up, or as the baby grows, it does stretch out, and then they just wouldn't need to be turned up, and you could get a lot more use out of them. So I made those. Got 6 out of the Encore Tweed, and then these 2 are 100% acrylic. This teal colored yarn is Red Heart Super Saver. The orange yarn is like from the early 80s. It's Montgomery Ward. 100% Orlon acrylic. I don't know where this came from. I had it, so figured I'd use it up. And I did use up all of the orange, and all of this is Deborah Norville Everyday in Bright Violet. It's a really pretty color. But I do have a little bit of the teal left, and I just threw it in with all of my other Red Heart Super Saver stuff. But yeah, so I got 2 acrylic hats. And I also had a bag of hats that I had made that hadn't been washed yet. So I got them all washed. And I don't even know how many hats are in here. But these are ones that I have been making and just keep cramming in a bag. I finally got them washed. They're ready to label so that I can donate them. And I found a clinic in a nearby city that helps women that are pregnant. It helps them get services and like sonograms, helps set them up with clothing and furniture and everything that they need for their baby. It's kind of like the human equivalent of a no-kill shelter, and they don't do abortions, and they don't recommend abortion clinics, but they do help you with everything else. So that's the kind of place that I would like to donate to. And I have, besides the hats and the socks, I have sweaters, blankets, mittens, all sorts of things that I've made that I'm going to donate. So I'm going to wait until it gets closer to when it's going to get colder, because right now over there it's like 100 degrees and nobody needs a hat like this when it's 100 degrees. So I'll wait until a little bit closer and then I will donate those. Since I did finish that little pair of socks, I'm ready to start a different kind of socks. So I pulled some sock yarns out. This one is Knit Pick Stroll in Prairie Heather. I'm going to use this for the cuffs, heels, and toes. And then this, I don't have any clue what kind of yarn it is as far as like the brand or color or anything like that. I got it at a thrift store. I know that it's sock yarn. I can tell by the way it feels. So I'm gonna make socks with it. But yeah, this one's a mystery. This one's Stroll from Knit Picks. And that will be my next sock project. Speaking of socks, these socks, I did finish evening out the yarn on the top of this one, and then I washed these, and I have to say I was kind of skeptical of this yarn before I washed it. It was a little rough, it was a little bit and I didn't think that it would probably be one that I would ever use again if it had stayed like that. But I could feel when I was washing it, I could feel it getting softer, like a lot of times yarn is got a little bit of an oily coating when they spin it on the machines. And so once that, whatever it was in there was washed out, this yarn softened up a lot. And I think these are going to be a lot more pleasant than I thought that they were before. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I would have tried this yarn again. This is Drops Fiesta. I wasn't sure if I would have tried it again, but it made a world of difference when I washed it. So yeah, I would use it again now. My anchor tee, I have worked on it. It doesn't look any different, so I'm not going to bother showing it to you. I have not started the wool raglan that I plan to make yet. I have not worked on the Diana yarn hats this week because I was making baby hats. And after I filmed the last time, I grabbed a couple bags of scrap yarns, and that's what inspired me to do the baby hats. I was just going through some stash, and so I grabbed them and took them with me and made baby hats instead of the other ones. I have not done anything yet with the frost slippers because I need to block the tops of the slippers before I steek them. And I've never steeked anything before, and to be honest, it's a little bit scary, so I'm very much procrastinating. But I do need to get that done, so I do need to work on them. I at least need to get them blocked in the next couple days. And in a couple days, I am going to put the anchor tee down for a short while. Nitty McPurley on her podcast is sponsoring a summer shirt knit along thing, like a summer top, like a tank top, sleeveless top, t-shirt style. and to take part, just use like a summertime yarn. And I have this. It's Acacia from Hobie, and it is a 51% acrylic, 49% cotton blend. I have 5 balls of this, so I have 1,365 yards total. That should be plenty to make a t-shirt style top. It's a size 3 yarn, DK weight, but it's pretty lightweight. And I've got a couple of patterns that I've been looking at, and I haven't really nailed down exactly which one I want to do yet, but I do want to participate in that knit along. So I'm going to set the anchor tee aside long enough to knit this one up. And this one being a size 3 yarn, a DK weight instead of the size 1 fingering weight, it shouldn't take quite as long because it's going to be using bigger needles. And she's got a deadline of starting on June 1st and finish by July 17th. And if you use her patterns or her yarn, you can get extra entries into like winning a prize. I'm not really worried about the prize, so I just want to use whatever I've got in stash and whatever kind of free pattern that I can find. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for a little while in there. I've got everything ready except the pattern. Better get that figured out this weekend because it starts on Monday, and that way I can take part in that. But that should be everything I've been working on. Oh, no, it's not. I also did the Ruke clutch bag, and I got all of the knitting done on the bag, and then I picked out some fabric so that I could line it, and I forgot to bring it, so I'm not going to show you this time. Maybe I'll get it lined and then show you next time. But I did knit it, and it is all done. So I'll show you next time on that one. But that's everything that I've brought to show you that I've been working on, and a couple of things that I'm going to be starting here soon. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.